1987, and the Cricket World Cup had moved to India and Pakistan. And for England's captain Mike Gatting, it would be remembered for one crucial moment.
I played the shot, but the ball was probably far too wide in the end, and I probably should have left it.
Straight away, Mike Gatting trying to play the reverse sweep shot. That's the first time he's made a mistake on this tour when he's played it. So what a breakthrough for Alan Border.
Fast forward to 1992, and the Cricket World Cup moved on again to Australia and New Zealand in another first. And for one England legend, a last chance of glory.
In the air and over the top.
Basically, I was fed up with people saying, you know, he's not fit, he's not doing that. No, I wasn't 100% fit because I had a back injury, which everyone knows about, and ended up having major surgery, and then coming back from that surgery, I'm never going to be the same cricketer. It was disappointing because we were the best team in the tournament.
The Cricket World Cup had moved on to new horizons.
And Jonty Rhodes has demolished the stumps.
They go for it. And Donald's run out.
The skipper getting a century in a World Cup final.
Yes! A World Cup 100 to savour.
India lift the World Cup.
In 1987, the Cricket World Cup was hosted in India and Pakistan for the first time. India, the 1983 champions, had a chance to defend their title on home soil. But by the semi-finals, it was all over for Kapil Dev's team when they were beaten by England.
When you're playing within, your own surroundings, sometimes the pressure takes over.
Australia were the team that England would face in the final, in a contest memorable for both teams. Australia won the toss and chose to bat, and soon began piling on the runs.
Lovely shot. Beautiful shot that by Jeff Marsh.
For that 87 World Cup in India, we really prepared well. We started to formulate some tactics for one-day cricket, which we hadn't done in the past. We had some specific plans in place for that particular tournament.
Australia's openers put on 75, with David Boon in fine form.
David Boon very quick to pick up anything short.
We played the game in the same systems that we normally would, and I think we played it very, very well. We took all our moments that were critical in the match.
Dean Jones also joined the party to accelerate the scoring rate.
And that's swung away on the leg side, and that's carried for 6. Dean Jones picking that up.
Playing at Eden Gardens, there's 100,000 people there, and I'd reckon all bar a few travelling Englishmen were all going for us.
I think in the final it was an interesting one. It was really the start and the end. Where we'd bowled very tiredly at the start and most things, I think there might have been 1 or 2 nerves about possibly. And to be fair to Australia, they obviously knew that's what we had done, and so I think they were slightly more positive.
Dean Jones there going for a big hit, just clearing Gatting.
The oldest rivalry in world cricket, it was quite an exciting challenge for us at that time and stage in Australian cricket for us to be playing England in Calcutta in a World Cup final.
David Boon's fine knock eventually came to a close at 75, placing the Australians in a strong position at 168 for 4.
That was a good catch by Paul Downton. He was going around in circles a bit at the finish.
My objective as a batsman was to do the job that was required. And if we're going in really simple terms, that's all I tried to do.
Australian skipper Alan Border saw his team through to the end, his run-out ending the innings at 253 off 50 overs.
Poor Alan Border had to go. Good fielding by Robinson.
They played really well and probably got 20 runs more than they perhaps should have done in the last 6 or 7 overs. But due to positive cricket and really trying to do what a lot of sides hadn't been able to do to us in the matches.
England's innings started in the worst possible way. Tim Robinson out, first ball.
Might well be out. First ball. So Australia are on their way.
We're having a bit of a problem with the opening partnership, whether it should be Tim Robinson or Chris Broad. We chose Tim in the end, and in hindsight, sadly, Tim got out early doors. But would it have made a difference?
Graham Gooch and Bill Athey steadied the England ship with the pressure on, and they took the score to 66 for 2.
That may be out. And Simon O'Donnell has got the wicket that all Australia want.
A captain's innings was required as Mike Gatting came in at number 4.
That's a great shot. 1 bounce 4.
Yeah, we were going. Ath and myself got together. We started to build up a partnership, and again, it got to about 6 and over, funnily enough. And AB decided that it was going too smoothly for us, and he thought he'd try and change it, and so he brought himself on.
England were getting themselves with their noses in front as a result of Mike Gatting.
I was trying to be positive, trying to keep the scoreboard ticking.
He's a very good player of spin bowling, Gat.
So Alan Border got ready to bowl his first ball to his opposite number.
I played the shot, but the ball was probably far too wide in the end, and I probably should have left it. But I was seeing the ball well, and I thought, well, I'll just get it over there, and even if I don't get it where I want to get it, I only have to get it just behind square, and we get 2 runs a ball.
When Gat looks back on his career, he will possibly consider that a poor choice of shot.
And the ball just caught the top of my shoulder, and instead of sort of flying off down there for whatever, having hit it, it just hit the top of my shoulder, looped up, and I got caught behind, and then sadly we just couldn't keep the momentum up.
With Gatting gone, the run rate dried up, and England found themselves needing 17 from the final over. They could only manage 10.
What a cheer! No little effort by Foster. His job's bowling, not batting. Picked up on the deep cover boundary by Valletta. They take 2 and listen to the acclaim.
Australia had won their first ever World Cup by 7 runs.
And sadly we just couldn't keep the momentum up. AB, I think, took himself off reasonably quickly and got the bowlers back on, and sadly we ended up something like, I don't know, 8 short, but 8 was like sort of 800 really, it didn't really matter.
Yeah, just one of those moments. I remind it every time I see him, I remind him, so it's been going on for a lot of years now.
For Australia, the only thing that mattered was that they had won the World Cup.
It was an incredible moment for us all. Almost one of those surreal. We've actually won the World Cup. It's hard to put into words. It was just all very excited, running around, and everyone congratulating each other.
Well, it was cricket entertainment, wasn't it? It was cricket appealing to the masses.
The World Cup 1992 reshaped cricket into a dynamic and modern game.
It took me some time to get used to the white balls.
Subtract Lewis from that list. Wasim Akram is on a hat-trick.
I realised as a cricketer that I can actually bowl quick.
Innovations for the fans and innovations to make one-day cricket more exciting.
The uniforms, playing day-night cricket, all that was just fantastic innovation for the game.
This was the Cricket World Cup that thought it was a league. To start with, all the 9 teams played each other once in a round robin.
Well, obviously Australia were the favourites.
We played very well from the 87 World Cup victory, and that group of players, it formed the nucleus of the side that played in the 92 tournament.
First up in the opening game were the hosts Australia against New Zealand. First blood Australia.
He's bowled him 2 wides and he struck. But what a start for Australia.
New Zealand lost John Wright in the first over, and the current World Cup holders were in confident mood.
We knew that man for man they were probably a better cricket team than us. They'd proven that time and time again. But we also knew that we had Eden Park up our sleeve.
At 53 for 3 and with the Black Caps reeling, inspiration was needed. Up stepped captain Martin Crowe.
Quality player, he stopped the rot and started to play very, very well.
Martin Crowe is one of the great cricket thinkers.
Martin Crowe introduced spin with the new ball, and then Great Batch was introduced as a pinch hitter against the new ball.
Crowe's batting, so organised technically, but so adaptable, so able to play one-day cricket as instinctively as he was to play Test match cricket pragmatically.
Oh, what a glorious shot.
Your best batsman should face as many deliveries as possible, in all honesty, and that way he can control the game, and he was our controller.
Crowe fought the Australian attack single-handed, but his partners fell regularly. Chris Harris was one of them.
Oh, chance of a run out, he's gone. Lee Harris, good thinking by Crowe, he kept coming. Once again it's Border at cover position, makes a great save. Another run out, this time Chris Harris.
Crowe played a heroic knock. On 99, with 2 balls left in the innings, he finally gave the home support just what they wanted. A brilliant century.
He's on 99, Wars the bowler. And he's got it away. That's 100 for Cairns, that's 100 for Crowe, and they're onto the ground, oh no!
He was very good at working singles. He was very hard to keep on strike for any length of time. And so he had that ability just to work the ball around. He ran well between the wickets. You know, he was the real package.
New Zealand posted a healthy 248 in their 50 overs, thanks in part to Martin Crowe's batting masterclass.
He made sure it wasn't about an individual 100, it was making sure that we got a credible total to say to Australia, are you good enough?
Martin Crowe surprised everyone with his novel tactic of opening the innings with off-spinner Deepak Patel.
It was a fantastic innovation that Martin Crowe and Warren Lees came up with. It was certainly very unexpected.
Patel to continue with his right arm off spin as he swings it away.
Australia's innings needed a quick start and got one, courtesy of opening pair of David Boone and Jeff Marsh.
A lot of innovations that New Zealand brought to the table in that particular tournament, particularly Patel opening the bowling with his off-spinners. We hadn't seen that before, and certainly jumped us in that first game.
Despite losing Jeff Marsh to Gavin Larson, Australia remained on track.
Let's break the shackles. Good bowling by Larson.
When you're losing wickets, it's difficult in one-day cricket because every time that happens, your momentum slows again.
Dean Jones was next in and added 30 runs.
That has picked up the run rate for Australia there.
Jonesy, you know, who was our go-to man really in one-day cricket, he played well. Unfortunately got himself out, and then of course we hit a bit of a submerged log from there.
Dean Jones looking to put the pressure on the New Zealand fielders. It's a short boundary and he's in trouble. He's on his way. Dean Jones tried to take on the fielder there.
At this point, Deepak Patel came back for his second spell.
Alan Border does take some risks here. There's a fieldsman in the outfield. He's come around, taken the catch.
We just put too much pressure on ourselves by losing wickets in the middle order. I never blame the tail when you get into those circumstances. It's more, you know, what should have been done. We got a reasonable start at the top of the order. The middle order just fell away, of which I was one, so I've got to put my hand up.
David Boone, not for the first time, was the Aussies' World Cup standout with the bat. His innings of 100 kept Australia in the fight.
It's been a very good innings for Australia. Another fine innings from David Boone. Martin Crowe showed us this morning his batsmanship, and David Boone has matched that this afternoon.
My objective as a batsman was to do the job that was required. And if we're going in really simple terms, that's all I tried to do.
But when he finally departed, his side was still 49 shy of the target, and it was difficult to see where those runs would come from.
There's another chance for a run out. It's a direct hit, and there it is. Another wicket for New Zealand.
That's Boone.
And that's where the game, you know, changed.
We felt comfortable after that. Once we got Booney out, we felt that you know, we could go on and win.
They put the pressure on our tail, which we left them too much to do. So you can't blame them for, you know, the wickets falling, you know, in a rush at the end.
In the air, and that's gone. And so may well be Australia. Reid has hit it in the air. That's the end of the game. That's it. New Zealand has won. A surprise victory here, and 30,000 New Zealand supporters, well, a fair percentage of them are going to make a dash to congratulate their team as they head off the ground.
Inside the dressing room, it was, wow, do we just sort of do that? You know, if we just caused the biggest upset of the World Cup on day one?
The run-out has given us many memorable Cricket World Cup moments over the years.
They're running! It's they win by 1 run, Australia, what a finish!
The 1992 World Cup gave us 2 classic run-outs that are still talked about today.
Inzamam could be run out, and Jonty Rhodes has demolished the stumps.
And Jonty wasn't the only one. The early encounter between India and Australia served up another run-out of the highest quality.
So Mark Taylor really finding the middle of the bat very early on. They look for 3 here, have to hurry.
India had begun well in that particular match, largely thanks to some inspired bowling by Kapil Dev, who struck early and had Australia in trouble at 31 for 2.
Winning the World Cup is you start playing well somewhere during the tournament.
But Australia were in no mood to make things easy for India, as the pugnacious David Boone and the stylish Dean Jones put on 71 for the 3rd wicket. The Australian middle order also scored heavily and ramped up the pressure on India.
Yeah, I enjoyed all the time batting with Dino because I think without doubt, at that period of time, he was one of the best one-day batsmen in the world.
After Boone departed, the Australian middle order stumbled. Home pressure was taking its toll.
He's gone. Well, there's good bowling. Enticed him down the pitch. Ravi Shastri takes the catch. A beautiful piece of bowling by Raju.
I don't think we went in there with huge confidence like we have done in other World Cups, where we're thinking, you know, if we get it right, you know, there's not too many teams that can stand in our way.
He's gone for that one. This is in the air. This could be out. It is, brilliantly caught. Absolutely magnificently caught by the DJ coming in there, and what a catch that is.
But with Australia on 235 and seemingly poised to post 250 plus, their tail collapsed in dramatic fashion.
Walking off the ground, you sort of think, you know, we've made 237. You know, that's a defendable score in my opinion. At that ground, you always walk off thinking, I'd like a few more, but you're comfortable.
India's reply started badly. Both Srikanth and Ravi Shastri went cheaply, but Azharuddin then calmed the innings, forming partnerships with Tendulkar and Kapil Dev. India were looking strong and looking like realising their true potential.
When you had such stars, you know, like Azhar and, well, Kapil was there, and of course you had Sachin, who's burst onto the international scene. So yeah, there was certain expectation, but cricket is like that. You know, some days you're up and some days you're not.
When Azharuddin was run out with India's score on 194, he got them right back into the match. His partner, Sanjay Manjrekar, hit a flurry of 4s and a magnificent 6 before he was also run out on 47.
He's got to be out surely. It's gone. Yes, good throw by McDermott. They had to take it on. Sanjay Manjrekar run out by a great throw by Craig McDermott. David Boone had the bails off in a flash, and that could be the end for India.
Not quite. By the final over, it had come down to this.
It's got that away. They'll have to run. Oh dear, Sharaf not even running. So they run out, so that's virtually it.
After Prabhakar was out, India needed a 4 off the final ball. It was to be one of the most exciting World Cup finishes ever.
Well, I suppose you're always thinking that hitting a boundary, that can be done. When he first hits it, you think, oh no.
He's got it at 6, could it be? He's coming around Mark Taylor, it's Steve Waugh.
You know, you've got your heart in your mouth hoping he takes the catch.
He's dropped it! He's got to go back for the 3rd, come on, run!
Good throw over the stumps.
They're running! It's they win by 1 run, Australia, what a finish!
I think they only managed to get 1.5 or, yeah.
He dropped the catch, but the throw was good enough and the runner was not fast enough, so India miss out by 1 run.
The feelings after that match were one of probably more relief than anything else. You were back in the tournament. albeit just.
Next up, South Africa versus Pakistan.
So the South Africa-Pakistan match in Brisbane really grabbed the imagination of the South African public, and it always goes back to the Jonty Rhodes dive.
After 50 overs, South Africa had made 211.
That's the end of the South African innings.
We'd heard about reverse swing, and Dave Richardson was batting at the end. He was one of our more experienced players at the time, and he literally, whereas his last 2 overs, Dave Richardson didn't lay bat on balk. We were probably 20 or 30 runs short in the last couple of overs because we literally had no idea where the ball was being bowled. Dave Richardson walked off and just went, "Sorry guys, I must have looked stupid, but I didn't know where the ball was going."
It took me some time to get used to the white balls, to control the white balls because they swing a lot more than the red ball.
Pakistan's openers Sohail and Faisal began well in their reply as they tried to take advantage of the emerging South African side.
Sohail doing very well in this World Cup.
We played really well in defending that total. We bowled well, we fielded well.
Inzamam ul Haq was fast becoming Pakistan's new batting sensation. Young and hungry at his first Cricket World Cup, he was proving his ability to change a game all on his own. Imran Khan's instincts seemed as good as ever, and he also took on the South African attack, forming a partnership of 85 alongside young Inzamam.
Inzamam really doesn't do much, but they fly off the bat.
South Africa were being truly tested and needed to find some inspiration of their own. Step forward, Superman, Jonty Rhodes.
I wouldn't call him the greatest catcher of a cricket ball I've ever seen, but I would call him the most electric ground fielder.
Inzamam could be run out, and Jonty Rhodes has demolished the stumps.
My existence as a cricket player certainly changed after that run out against Pakistan.
And of course the speed of that move and then that terrific horizontal shot of Jonty doing something that Inzamam simply couldn't believe.
The thing about Jonty Rhodes when he played was he was very quick and very agile, and people underestimated his pace to the ball.
I often explain it quite simply that I was running towards the wicket, tripped over my laces, and some guy took a great picture.
As he saw it, he pounced. He could have thrown at the stumps, and if he did and hit, Inzamam probably would have been out by 3 meters. But he ran in and dived and broke the stumps.
You know, it's one of the greatest cricketing moments of all time.
The now infamous run-out changed the game as Pakistan never recovered from the loss of Inzamam and fell short by 20 runs of a revised target of 193. Pakistan had lost, and Jonty Rhodes had won the title of the world's best fielder.
It'll always be remembered by that Jonty Rhodes run out of Inzamam ul Haq. I mean, it was just spectacular.